Let's take number 6. We
Hello,
have
Leeman.
Leeman in South Korea. You're talking to Eric and Jamie. What the fuck is up with the flat Earth behind us? By the way, no,
It's a flat Earth.
Shame,
Yeah.
no. There we
right.
go.
All right.
At least my chestnuts can roast.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Leeman, sorry, you're talking to Eric and Jamie. How's it going?
I'd like to point out that Eric is the one that yelled at the crew, so if you're going to put devil horns on either of us... Sorry. Leeman, what did you want to talk about today?
There's actually a lot I wanted to tell y'all, but I know you'll have a lot of calls to get to. But I do want to say that I've been watching Talk Heathen for a year and a half, and I've seen both of you mature so much in that time.
Thank you, man. That's really nice of you.
Yeah.
I could explain a little bit in more detail if you wanted to, or if you're feeling a little shy, that's fine.
Well, I mean, I think we can reflect for a few minutes. It's been a hell of a year, and I know that we've both grown as people a lot, and we're really proud of it. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, Eric, I saw you as a little bit too much of trying to be a people pleaser, and now you're a lot more confident, and you're making your arguments without worry about what the other person's feeling, or being self-conscious about the way you're making your arguments or whatever. And sorry, I got a little bit of a cold. Jamie, you still are flippant, or at least humorous, but you used to be a little too flippant, and that kind of undercut your case with your interlocutor. But more often than not, you're making profound and very persuasive points in a very personable manner.
Yeah. Dig it. Thank you, man. We really appreciate the feedback. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Yeah, I have noticed, and I'm actually always trying to find something to work on, and I've noticed that I've come off a little snarky, a little condescending now. So I'm trying to find a good, happy balance there. But we appreciate the kind words.
Mostly recently, but
yeah.
We're all working all the time.
But what did you want to call in and talk about?
Other than
I am right. I am an American living in South Korea as an English teacher.
Dig it.
I've been here for 11 years.
Ooh, nice. All right.
And I did not expect to be here 11 years. But it's really, really grown on me. I always find the language to have more things to learn about. And I have found that teaching is so much more of a calling to me than I ever expected it to be whenever I first came here.
Yeah.
And
what can we help with?
Okay, so I really enjoy teaching, so not just English, but just teaching. And I came across street epistemology about a year ago with Anthony Magnabosco, and I really, really respect the work that he's been doing. And I've seen other SE YouTubers, and they do a great job, and I see that as teaching in a very Socratic method, like asking the questions, and you ask a question in a way that they teach themselves, basically. And I want to do that, but I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I go by the steps that I see the other people taking, but they the people that I'm talking to inevitably, like they start out happy, like, oh, okay, and they're talking about it, and I ask questions, and then it'll get to something like, oh, are feelings a good way to come to conclusions? And like, well, I think so. Then I'll give an example of, I feel blah, blah, blah. And does that make it true? And like every single time I've had conversations, it's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
That's most people. I mean, you can start the conversation, but honestly, most people really don't want to talk about religion. It makes them uncomfortable, and in some cultures, it's taboo. Including the one that we're in here in the United States, it's quite taboo. So,
but see, that's the thing, though. I mean, if they start out, they seem happy to discuss their religion or what they believe. Mm-hmm. But during the course of the conversation, it's something that I'm saying, and I can't figure out what it is that I'm doing. So that's making them so defensive.
It's that you're talking to them about religion. That's actually a common sign that what you're doing is working. So this is sort of why I point people to the book rather than just the videos that instruct on SE. The videos are very good. Watching Anthony's example is very good, but it may be, obviously I'm not there seeing your talk, but there's a side piece of research, when in doubt, shout, that's when you are actually starting to place doubt in a person's mind, their response becomes more emphatic. Mm-hmm. But the book, A Manual for Creating Atheists, I literally cannot recommend it strong enough or too frequently enough. You should read. Additionally, there's lots of resources online and communities on Facebook where you can sort of chat and share these things. Obviously, again, I haven't seen what you're saying, so it's possible that you're just telling them that they're like, hey, guess what? Your religion's bullshit. I don't know why they're getting angry. I doubt that that's the case. In case you're wondering, that's not a good way of doing that. But
I am not doing that. But
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because for a lot of people, yeah, they're happy to share what they think, but nobody. Well, I'm not going to say nobody. I can't use that kind of language. But most people, when they become challenged with a question to what they believe, all of a sudden, response. The entire structure changes because it's no longer, what do you think? Oh, I think this. Yeah. Why do you think? Oh, shit, now I have to actually do some work. Yeah. So I think Jamie's absolutely on point. Peter Boghossian's A Manual for Creating Atheists is a great book that kind of dives into that. So I've got to echo Jamie's point. Well, we hope that helps. I'm sorry, but we kind of have set ourselves up in a bubble where people call us and want to talk. So
what I'll say is, that's almost the extent of what we can do to advise on that point, because we're not explicitly regular practitioners of SE on the air.
Fair enough.
But I do in my spare time. That's.
I've just been I've been admiring the way you guys approach the conversations, and I've been watching the Atheist Experience for longer. I don't know how many years. Yeah. And whenever I first started watching your show, I had doubts. No, I don't want to make you feel bad.
No, we were pretty shitty, actually. I had a stutter and a horrible nervous laugh, and Jamie
and I
wouldn't
compensated by never shutting up and interrupting.
Yep, he never let me talk. So actually, I cringed like crazy, but we try. We try to get better.
I can only go back and rewatch our first episode so many times.
Yeah, I retroactively want to strangle Jamie, but he's still my best friend, and I love him to death, and there's no one else I'd rather do this with, interrupting me or not.
I've come to look forward to Talk Heathen more than the Atheist Experience. It's my Mondays. This is Monday morning for me right now, 4 a.m.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right. You're across the international date line. I forgot about that.
we're really happy that we can be a part of that for you. And thank you so much. That really does mean a lot. Thank you. And thank you for sticking through it. And thank you for being patient while we had to get our crap together. And I hope that this time next year, we're cringing at ourselves right now because we've got that much better.
We probably will be.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Well, I hope your understanding of yourselves and give yourselves a break is any improvement over an extended period of time will look drastic with enough of that time.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
It's almost like how the only difference between supposed micro and macro evolution is time.
Exactly.
That's a can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to get arguments from Leeman.
No worries.
about
Leeman, thank you
right.
for calling in. And thank you so much for your kind words. And we appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for making a great show. Keep it up, guys.
Will do.
We'll do our best. And what I will say